everybody. David Shuster here. The top-ranked podcaster in America is now alleging that Donald Trump went to war against Iran to distract from the Epstein files. Joe Rogan, who supported Trump in the 2024 election, made the explosive claim on his show after guest comedian Arsenio Hall said misdirection is the story of American politics.
Look, when Monica Lewinsky, when Bill Clinton got caught with Monica Lewinsky, they immediately started bombing some other countries. They're like, we got to distract these people. This is just too complicated. Yeah. Look, the Epstein files comes out, we go to war with Iran. It's a good way to get people to stop talking about certain things. You give them a new problem to think about.
But never mind the war, the problems with the Epstein files aren't exactly going away. The most recent files released include allegations that Donald Trump in the 1980s raped an underage teenage girl. In 2019, the FBI interviewed the woman 4 times and found her claims credible. 37 pages of interview documents involving the woman are still being withheld. That Department of Justice block in the documents and others is a big issue for members of Congress, and they had planned to question Bondi under oath about the DOJ actions at a scheduled deposition in the House Oversight Committee. But now that Bondi has been fired by Donald Trump, Bondi is refusing to appear.
The House Oversight Committee has announced former Attorney General Pam Bondi will not testify as part of the Epstein probe next week. The committee voted to subpoena her last month. MS Now Capitol Hill reporter Kevin Fry is joining us with more on this. So, Kevin, welcome. What can you tell us about this decision to not have her testify?
Yeah, apparently the DOJ is saying that she will not be testifying because, according to them, she was subpoenaed as in her role as the Attorney General, and she obviously will no longer be serving in that capacity.
Several Democrats believe that the bipartisan subpoena to Bondi as Attorney General is one of the reasons that Donald Trump fired her. Congressman Seth Moulton, Democrat from Massachusetts, says there is every indication that Donald Trump does not want Pam Bondi testifying about the Epstein files.
We all know that this administration is not accountable to the law. And so I expect Trump to do everything that he can come up with to try to get her out of testifying because it could be embarrassing to her. I mean, remember, she's the one who said she had the Epstein files on her desk. I have the client list in front of me, she said, and then all of a sudden she changed her story and that went away. We now know, of course, that's because Donald Trump's name occurs more than just about any other name other than Jeffrey Epstein in the Epstein files. And it's the single thing that's actually hurting his base. So basically what's happening is he's replacing one child pedophile protector with another. That's what's going on. And that's just an embarrassment that that's the top justice official in the United States of America.
Pam Bondi's current replacement at the Department of Justice is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Blanche served as Donald Trump's personal defense attorney in New York. Blanche is also deep in the handling, or mishandling, if you will, of the Epstein files. But Blanche is not facing a congressional subpoena since he's only serving as an interim attorney general. However, if Congress could get Blanche to testify, there would be countless Epstein-related questions for him. It was Todd Blanche who met with and interviewed Epstein partner Ghislaine Maxwell and then moved Maxwell out of a medium security prison into a minimum security club-fed type of detention facility. And at that facility, Maxwell gets a variety of perks, including special food and visits from therapy dogs, not available to other prisoners. So there are a lot of questions for Todd Blanche. But back to Pam Bondi. It is still possible for Congress to force Bondi to testify even though she is no longer Attorney General. The original bipartisan subpoena was introduced by Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace. And the order for Bondi to testify was by name and not to Pam Bondi as Attorney General.
When I issued the subpoena that was voted on by the Oversight Committee a number of weeks ago, we did it by name and not by the title of the Attorney General. So she's still compelled and required by law to come before the Oversight Committee. And at this juncture, I'm not backing away from that or backing down from that. I do believe the handling of the Epstein files was done in a very poor manner by her and her office. And there are still questions that she has answers to that are very serious and has information I believe that'll be important to the committee. So I'm moving forward. If I could still have the majority of support from the committee, it won't be just me. I have to have the support of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to move forward if the chairman wants to try to quash it.
So there is a step that might need to be taken. If the chairman wants to go a different direction than what has already happened, then you will need support from your Republican colleagues and Democratic colleagues to try to make sure she comes in?
Yes. And, that'll be, I'm assuming if that's the overture right now, that I'll have a little bit of work to do behind the scenes to make sure that I have any votes, if it's going to come up for a vote or how we move forward. I'm pushing to have her. She's made a lot of statements about the files. I have questions about those statements. I have questions about why not all of the files have been released.
And those are questions and potential answers that the Trump administration does not want the American public to hear. Congressional hearings are a way for lawmakers to grab media attention and refocus the public on a particular issue. In the minds of many pundits and lawmakers, short-circuiting Pam Bondi's testimony is one of the upsides for Donald Trump in firing her. Because now the subpoena process has to be redone, and at the very least, that has delayed Bondi's scheduled appearance in front of Congress. The other thing that is keeping Congress and the public focused elsewhere, of course, is the Iran war. Whether you believe or not that Donald Trump attacked Iran to take the focus away from the Epstein scandal, the accusation is gaining steam. Because when Trump's previous high-profile supporters like Joe Rogan insist there is a connection, it triggers a public debate. And that debate and discussion itself links the Iran war to the Epstein files. To be clear, Joe Rogan is offering an opinion and acknowledges he does not have any inside information, but Rogan still has enormous influence over the Trump voters. And the Epstein controversy continues to be a huge drag on those voters. And now, thanks to Rogan and Pam Bondi, the drag from the Epstein scandal is intensifying. Did you know that the big wireless carriers like Verizon and AT&T made over $18 billion in profit last year? How? By overcharging you for unlimited data, most of which you probably aren't even using. But what if you could get paid to use your phone less and only pay for the data you do use? Well, with Noble Mobile, you can. For just $50 a month on their No Bull plan, you get unlimited data, and whatever data you don't use, you get cash back right in your pocket. People who switch to Noble can save an average of $500 to $1,000 a year. It's a no-brainer. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan. By the way, regarding the Iran war, even Fox News says the conflict is not going well.
We have not reached any of those objectives. I have full confidence that the president is going to find some way to make this happen. But he said that we want to dismantle all major nuclear facilities. That has not happened. The end of uranium enrichment on the soil, they're still enriching. The transfer of the enriched uranium stockpiles out of Iran, that hasn't happened. The acceptance of intrusive international inspections, they're still not willing to do that. And they have not suspended their ballistic missiles program. They're still firing them off.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.